I wanted to make a video about my previous study with me video because there's something kind of ironic about it. That video was all about executive functioning skills and study skills, but creating it became one of the biggest executive functioning challenges I've experienced all year. This is going to be a pretty meta video because it really isn't about study skills. It's about everything that happened outside of the studying. The planning, the filming, the editing, posting, even the thoughts I've had since posting the video. Looking back, I'm really amazed at how many executive skills I was utilizing in order to even create and post that video. That study skills video, it actually showed me something really interesting. It showed me that I was making one small task into about 7 different tasks. I was overcomplicating things. Instead of simply taking the executive functioning certification through Connected Pathways Academy, I decided I wanted to film myself studying for that exam. So I needed to set up my camera, and then I needed to do voiceovers, then I needed to edit, then I needed to make a thumbnail, then I needed to make a YouTube description, then I had to post it, then I had to send it out to a bunch of people. So it's not just one thing. It's not just studying and filming myself. It's many things. Before I even realized it, taking that certification exam wasn't even about the exam. That one decision to film myself studying activated every executive functioning skill I have. Planning, prioritizing, time estimation, organization, flexibility, emotional control. It became this whole domino effect of overwhelm. And that's part of executive functioning that we often don't talk about enough. We often assume people are procrastinating or they're struggling with motivation and task initiation, when really they have quietly started making this one simple task into a massive set of multiple tasks. It suddenly becomes much bigger and much more complicated than it ever needed to begin with. It's about managing everything that happens before even doing the task itself. And at least for me, that's when my perfectionism shows up. I become attached to an idealized version of how something's supposed to be, and I lose flexibility. Instead of adapting, I wait for the perfect conditions. And sometimes those conditions never come. Someone with ADHD, like myself, can struggle to prioritize tasks and then feel completely overwhelmed by all the steps we've created to even begin. And we see this at every age. A young child lines up every stuffed animal just right before they're ready for bedtime. A teenager will have a clear vision of how their science poster is supposed to look, to the point where they can't even start because that idealized version has become too monstrous, too big, too complicated to actually achieve. And in my case, I postponed a professional certification exam because I convinced myself I needed to film, edit, and post myself studying for it. As I think back, I wasn't avoiding the exam. I wasn't procrastinating this exam. I really wanted to take it. I was just avoiding the version of the exam that I had unintentionally overcomplicated. So here's what actually happened. I finished the coursework back in November, and I felt really ready to do the certification exam. But I also thought it would be really valuable to my students, their families, and my audience to see my study process. I didn't just want to show the outcome. I wanted people to see me in action studying. And honestly, that's a great idea. Except my brain quietly changed the assignment. Suddenly, just taking the exam, that wasn't enough. Now I had to document it too. It didn't matter that I finished the course months prior. It didn't matter that I probably could have taken the exam much sooner. I had already attached another project to this exam. and I lost my flexibility to separate those two. Now here's another layer. I really like to emphasize the time of year that all of this was happening. There were holidays, birthdays, travel, and so many other things going on at that time between November and February. And that matters too, because executive functioning doesn't happen in a vacuum. Emotional regulation, stress, planning, time management all influence one another on a regular basis. So executive functioning, it's never just one skill. It's a whole network of skills that all interact and affect one another. And that's just one reason why I really appreciate Dawson and Guerre's executive functioning questionnaire. Instead of labeling someone as unmotivated or lazy, it gives us a clear view of their executive functioning strengths and areas of challenge so that we can figure out how to support them. Now, here's the funny part. The very thing that I thought was getting in my way ended up being the thing I needed in order to hold myself accountable. Once I hit record, I started reviewing my notes. I really thought through the different concepts and saw how they were all interwoven together. I stayed focused for longer, and my camera ended up becoming my accountability buddy. Ironically, the obstacle then became the support. And that's another thing that I really love about executive functioning. Sometimes we don't need more willpower. Sometimes we need a different environment or a different kind of support. In my previous video, I talked about the study cycle, encoding, retrieval, body doubling, and the Pomodoro Technique. Those are all really wonderful strategies that have been helpful and supportive to so many different people. But what that video couldn't show was everything that was happening outside of the frame, the planning, the overthinking, the emotional regulation, the perfectionism, the flexibility, and that's all executive functioning too. So if there's one takeaway that I hope you leave with, it's this. Be patient with yourself and be patient with the people in your life who struggle with executive functioning. Most people who are avoiding a task already know that they're avoiding it, and they're usually not proud of it. Many of them are even carrying shame about avoiding it. So instead of asking, why aren't you doing it? Try asking, has this task quietly become much bigger than it needs to be? Sometimes talking out a task can help someone uncover the hidden barriers that are keeping them from moving forward. Sometimes the answer isn't more motivation. Sometimes the answer is making the task smaller again. So I passed my certification exam and I'm now a certified executive functioning coach. But honestly, that's not the lesson that has stuck with me. The lesson is that executive functioning isn't something that we just master once and never have to think about again. It's something we practice every single day, even after we're certified as a coach for it. And maybe that's why I love this work so much. Because every time I learn something new about executive functioning, I'm learning something new about myself. If you've ever found yourself putting something off, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever accidentally made a task much, much bigger than it needed to be? What helped you move forward? Share your experience in the comments below. I have a feeling that more of us have been there than we're even willing to admit. And if conversations like this are helpful for you or people you love, please consider subscribing. My goal with this channel isn't just to teach about executive functioning skills. It's to show what executive functioning looks like in real life, in real time, the messy moments and all. I look forward to hearing how you've procrastinated and gotten through it.